Today it's time for a best of 5 series of top level StarCraft 2. It's time for a Zerg versus Terran, where in game number 1 we find ourselves on the map Botanical. Now spotting right here in the bottom right hand corner, playing with the blue Terran SCVs. We have the most successful tournament player from South Korea, and he goes by the name of Maru. Now Maru, he doesn't play in a lot of events, so I'm very excited to see what he is currently cooking up against Zerg. Speaking of which, joined by Vorazun on the main hatchery. Playing in red, we have SHIN. Okay, this series was recently played during the RSL, so let's see how this is going to go right here for the Terran especially. So I've seen SHIN play rather quite a lot on the new patch so far. SHIN in general, an absolute monster. Maru, a bit of a question mark. I've only really seen him compete in like 2 or 3 series in the last few months. So I'm very excited actually because the RSL replay pack does include quite a few series that look very promising. Likewise as well for SHIN, but usually we're not quite starving for SHIN replays. But it's gonna be nice to have a look at what Maru has recently been cooking up. Hatch into a very quick spawning pool as well. Actually, no, this is a spawning pool first into a hatchery. Little bit of an oddball opener for SHIN. Pool first is not usually what we see. I don't think it's going to work out too effectively for him either. One of the main reasons to go for the spawning pool first opener is if the... Really, we're going Marines first. That's a little bit odd as well. Okay. Normally, one of the main reasons for this is that if the Terran decides to skip out their starter worker, right? Like, they don't scout with it early on, and they go into, like, a very quick Reaper from the barracks up on the high ground, and they send that one straight across the map, and they go for the blind command center on the low ground. If all of those conditions are met, then these Zerglings can kill the potential SCV that's building the command center on the low ground, right? Now, Maru does oftentimes skip out on that. He does oftentimes skip out on the very first SCV scout, but this has now been a double Rex opener from Maru with a delayed command center on the low ground, but not with the Reapers. So all of this is odd. All of this is strange. I'm not sure who it really favors here in the end, though. SHIN only committing to 4 Zerglings here is really nice for him. If he would have gone for like 10 links, this would have been quite problematic. But he has gone back to droning really early on. Likewise, though, for Maru, he's making so many Marines now that it kind of feels like he doesn't have anything to do with them. Like, where do you now use these Marines? He's gonna kill the Overlord, even though the Zerglings valiantly came in to try and defend it. There never really was a chance. And I guess the Marines are just gonna march right now? So he made a bunch of Marines, and then went triple command center on the back of this. Raises the depot. He already had it selected, but there was no reason to rush. Right now, SHIN is a little bit worried to add on the 3rd hatchery. And this is similar to what Maru did in that previous series. I think I casted Maru going up against Raynor recently. Also from the RSL. Maru was playing weird strategies that really didn't make a ton of sense, but they still worked. I guess they're only weird because we don't normally see it, but they weren't weird because they were ineffective. This is another one of those starts right here from Maru that I am scratching my head at a little bit, but it does seem to work out just fine. Factory right now. Wait, that's a 2nd factory. Hold up right now. Everything is coming in 2s. We're making 2 expansions, we have 2 barracks, now we have 2 factories. What are we doing? Are we playing Mech? Are we going Blue Flame Hellion on the back of this right now? Concussive shells coming up as well? I guess Armory into like a Blue Flame Helmet push? Okay, let him cook. I believe this is what the cool kids say in 2025, right? No, we're actually playing full-on Mech. He cancels it. That was not a real concussive shell. He expected a Zergling scout and he wanted to fake Stimpak. Now, my question is, I'm actually just going to back up here for just a moment. Did this actually get spotted by SHIN? Did SHIN actually move up towards the high ground here? No, I don't think he did. No, Maru decided to cancel the upgrade. He didn't really need it. The reason you start up concussive shells is because it's only 25 minerals and 25 gas. So it's not as big an investment to be parking it over there for a little bit. That mind game did not work out for Maru, but the attempt was there. And we're actually just playing full Battlemech. Okay, now, let's rewind for just a little bit, right? If you are SHIN, what have you seen so far? You have seen a double barracks opener. Now, double barracks openers, I don't want to say always, but 99% of the time lead to a bio mid-game. Overseer Scout right now is finally going to allow SHIN a bit more information, because up until this point, SHIN probably assumed that he was dealing with a Stimpack timing attack. Not the case at all. This is full Terran Mech here from Maru. Okay. Now, Terran Mech, it did get nerfed a little bit with the latest balance patch. Nice Evo Chamber block right here by SHIN. It got nerfed because there was a bug with the Cyclone lock-on ability, which Maru, by the way, also ended up canceling. But the Cyclone now no longer has the wrong cooldown information, as we have a nice little hit squad of aliens working together. Oh, it's gonna work! It's gonna work! It's gonna work! Oh, yeah, don't clump them up! Ugh. Wow. I thought SHIN had this defended already, man. I am making assumption after assumption so far in this game, and none of it is proven correct. 16 drones for 8 Hellions. I mean, mineral-wise, obviously, that's an even trait, but I think Maru is pretty happy with that, since this is usually a unit you mostly produce just as a mineral dump. Gas is usually your main bottleneck with Terran Mech. Love this as well here from SHIN, going for the cheeky contamination. He's only seen a single Cyclone so far, but the Cyclone is going to be useful, although this is a high ground. Okay, final lock-on there. The final bullet there from the lock-on does get shot. Whew, okay. I'm starting to get nerd chills here from what Maru is doing. I don't think you can push in here, SHIN. There's no way. The siege tank numbers are already looking very healthy. Engineering bay as well, just to like block the pathing. Bunker in front of it too, even though we don't have a lot of Marines. We have some of them left over from the early game Overlord hunt. Look at him, building up the Sim City perfectly. Now, there is a Nidus network as well. We also have Roach Burrow. So that is tunneling claws here for SHIN. As long as there's a sensor tower, which you do need an engineering bay for, it should be fine. Soon, Maru is going to see the gelled hair, there we go, on those roaches. There's too many layers of tanks. There's no way. Nah, no way. The funnel here is perfect as well. Look at the little corridor that Maru has created. Nah, you're not going to break this, SHIN. No, not a chance. Nidus Worm goes in, though, and that could certainly be a problem for Maru. Look at that Cyclone still from earlier on. Yeah, it's ooh, tunneling claws, it's here. He scans and he sees it. There is a very faint indicator that there are units underground. He did see the gel right there on those roaches, right? They have the little spikes up on their heads. Their hair is gelled up, and it makes it obvious that tunneling claws is indeed done. 11 SCVs end up going down, though, just like that. A new Nidus Worm goes up as well on the other side. SHIN really making the best of an incredibly bad situation, as he is dealing with this. I can't believe he's navigating this game as well as he is. Because this is a very strange opener. Another contamination gets thrown down. The siege tank production really has been halted. There are a bunch of roaches as well tunneled here underground on the low ground. These tanks probably don't feel all too confident. I can't believe, though, that SHIN is actually dealing with all of this as well as he is. I think sniping the Nidus Worm would be a nice play here. Yep, we're going to make it difficult for these units to actually go back home and retreat. I think that's why this Nidus is now being built. Okay. Looks like the roaches have decided to go after the SCVs in the mineral line instead. A roach just jumped over the corner there of the main base, but that is all the roaches gone. Except for the ones right over here in the natural expansion. Roaches, though, in the meantime, get recycled back towards that third base's low ground. Nidus Worm over there is a massive thorn in Maru's side. And is SHIN actually doing this? I can't believe it, man. What a crazy first 10 minutes of this series. So far from the ordinary. Okay. Now, as the dust is settling, because I think this Zerg aggression is now over for at least a little bit. It's been an inefficient set of trades for SHIN, but he got 45 SCVs worth of damage done, which is just tremendous. If it wasn't for the drones that he lost on his side of the map, I think this would have been a massive advantage for him right now. Instead, I like it, but I don't think this is over yet. This is still a situation where Maru is going to be able to at least get a bit of time to breathe and potentially build up another push. Swarm hosts, of course. Swarm hosts. I thought the infestation pit was going to be for a hive, but this game so far has been full of surprises. We have Thors coming up as well right now for Maru, who may be a little bit worried for, say, for example, a Mutalisk transition, right? Mutas would be actually very problematic. Instead, we have triple Thor right now on the production tab. When's the last time you've seen Thors in general? Such an uncommon unit to make. All right, here go the Swarmhost. Swarmhost Nidus is, of course, a very solid unit comp. A Roach has been left behind over here, as well as a Zergling burrowed down at the bottom. That's going to provide vision to pop up those new Nidus worms. Scan is going to reveal the Swarmhost, though, and that's a big scan for Maru, who just wanted to see if the hive started up. Instead, this is going to give him a little bit of last-ditch information that, indeed, there are Swarmhosts coming. And, yeah, knocking down the rocks over here, not a bad idea. Maybe lowering some of the supply depots to creating a bit more maneuverability. I do think that the Thors are going to be quite strong. Maybe not the preferred choice, but here we go. First wave is going to move in. Maru doesn't see it. He's going to have to pull the boys immediately, though, when he spots that this is going on. And, well, this is going to be quite costly. He decides to not run anything, but that is 12, 13 SCVs dying. Armory gets, well, shut down as well. Nidus Worm right now over on the right side as well. 13 SCVs, though, is painful. And all of that happens in about the blink of an eye. Starport finally building, by the way. That is the first starport in this game. We are 12 minutes in. Maru is building a starport. Normally you build that at like minute 3. Anyways, Blue Flame coming up. +3 attack also building here for the Terran. Locusts are going to be available yet again. Roaches and Zerglings, though, are grouping up together on the left side of the map. And what about this secondary Locust wave now? There are some Hellbats, right? And Blue Flame is done. They are going to be roasting those units reasonably well. Push over here at the bottom, though, is going to be connecting with the one on the right side. SHIN wants to desperately deny the 4th command center of the Terran, and it looks like he is going to be able to continue soft containing this Terran player. He decides to shove the units down the ramp. That is not where they needed to be. Lucky for him, he retreated. But those, well, siege tanks would have had a great time shelling away at his army. Swarmhosts actually have decided to group up right over in this location, too. More and more Ravagers and Lings are being added. +2 missile is going to finish for SHIN in just a moment, who, on the back of this, does have 5 bases. Now we are 13 minutes in. The main and the natural of Maru, they're going to be running low. Oh, look at this. We have a Spire and a Hive, too. I think SHIN's next step in the Zerg master plan is to go Brute Lords. Once upon a time, Thor's countered those, but not anymore. Thor numbers, though, are still big. Locust Wave hits the ground yet again. I love the one medevac. Oh, the fact that he makes a medevac while playing Terran Mech is glorious, but it's allowing him a little bit of movement to reposition the Thors. It's going to allow him to, well, just pick up the Thors when they're fighting against the Locust, bring them back to safety, but also it's going to be fantastic at shutting down the Nidus Worms. Baling Nests on the back of this right now, too, for SHIN. I don't know if I love that one too much. Either way, we are going to be adding on the Cyclones, too. Maru is surviving, but I don't know if this is great for him. Oh, the medevacs. Dude, the medevacs are kind of hot. +3 attacks does get denied. Difficult to keep that one alive, but my god. The 2 medevacs while playing Terran Mech are absolutely critical. Alright, new armory is coming. Indeed, we do have a greater Spire on the production tab too. Vipers are being added into the mix here for SHIN. Maru has been desperately trying to get a 4th base up and going. And so far, he just has not found it. Can he move it over on the right side and finally get it up and running? Maru, ooh, clumped up siege tanks over here. They're going to be eating biles. 2 of them down the drain. I'm a little bit worried for the Swarmhost into Broodlord transition, right? So at this point, Maru seems to have a pretty good hold against this type of unit composition. But what do you do if like a dozen Broodlords suddenly show up? 4th base is now finally being taken, but look at the main base. There's no mining anymore, pretty much. Same for the low ground. It's drying up. Even the 3rd base. Yeah, it's going to be experiencing, well, in a few minutes from now, it's going to see a few of these mineral fields mine out. This little pocket over here on Botanical, I've never seen it being used for Swarmhost and Locust, but it's perfect for it. Oh, that's a good little setup here too, though, with those Locusts. You cannot lift up siege tanks while they are sieged, so there's really no way for Maru to save those. Shindo is slowing down the game a bit. Yeah, he wants to go into Brutes. The problem is he's maxed out. So, yeah, Ultra Cavern coming up. I don't really like it. Same for the Baling Nest. I don't think it's really that good. But in his mind, he currently has infinite amounts of money, right? Like, he basically can do whatever he likes. Now, this is great for Maru. Finally gets a bit of counter damage done. Maybe he's going to get a second hatchery as well. Yeah, he's going to lock on yet again. There's already been 1 base going down. What about the one over here? Locust Wave, in the meantime, moves in on the right side. We have a little bit of Medevac pickup micro yet again, but this Cyclone hit squad did just kill 2 bases. We are going to see some of them getting abducted, though, so you're not all going home. But that was still very successful for the Terran. Okay. Medevacs are picked up, or picking up Thors to shut down the worms. Okay, right over here at the bottom as well. Well, we have everything we need to prevent this Nidus worm too. Look, Maru's main goal in this game is to max out on a death ball. He's got 100 supply plus right now worth of Terran mech, and 3-3 is about a half minute away. If Maru maxes out and he gets 3-3 going, he is gonna be able to do the timing attack of a lifetime. It is going to be pretty much unbeatable in a straight-up fight that I'm starting to get a little bit worried for Shin, who now decides to commit up the high ground. I don't think this is where we want to go. Blinding Cloud is going to disable at least some of the tanks. We do have some nice abductions, too, on at least a few of the expensive Terran units, but I think right now is the time to strike for Maru. I think you gotta go. This Terran army is just about to get a whole lot stronger. It is already massive. Problem is, though, yeah, anytime he leaves, there's gonna be Nidus worms and locusts and all of it all over the place. Okay, Infestation Pit here, a researching neural parasite for Shin. Yet again, the Swarmhost are down south. New factories are building inside of the main base. Whew. What a game. What a game. You know what? I haven't said it in a while, but may I say the words? Game of the year? Is it allowed? Maru's going, by the way. This is... I mean, previously I got about 1 game of the year every month. I have a game of the year playlist on YouTube with the very best games of the year. This, though, is going to be an attack. It's been a few months right now, okay? This right here, though, is a phenomenal attack from Maru. Zerg cannot engage against that army without Brute Lords, I don't think. I think we need to see like a dozen Brute Lords being made right about right now. Shin does not quite have the resources available, though, to make it. He needs to make the Corruptors if that's what he wants to go for. He's got an Ultra Cavern. Okay, that's what he builds instead. These are going to be Ultras, though, with +1 Carapace. I think we need to go Brute Lords. Why would we go Ultras? I think he doesn't feel like he's got the time. He should have already had a dozen Corruptors waiting to be morphed in. Instead, he decides to go for Ultras. But these are Ultras with +1 Carapace against fully upgraded Terran mech. Maru doesn't care about the creep, by the way. He is driving on over with all of the tanks and every unit that he's got towards the natural expansion of the Zerg, and he sieges up. Shin panics, makes 12 additional Overlords after hitting a supply block. Ravagers are still going to town. Hatchery in the bottom left-hand corner now gets spotted. Siege tanks, though, are spread out beautifully. Prevent a very big blinding cloud from taking all of it out. Here go the Ultras. Now look at them getting destroyed. Ultras achieve nothing. They are thinking of their sins right over here. Yeah, you keep thinking, because I don't think you're going to do anything. He's waiting for the Locust Wave. The Locust Wave is not going to be available yet, though, for another 10 seconds, and that feels like a lifetime at this point for SHIN. Blinding Cloud does get put down. Nice disable on some of the tanks. Ultras are starting to break through. Zerglings are being made at this point in time. Locusts are going to be an absolute necessity. Activate them, SHIN. He sends them forth right now. Is there enough for the Zerg to clean this up? We still have the Medifex running around, reinforcing Lings and Ultras. Oh my lord, they show up just barely in the nick of time. Okay. SHIN clears it up, but the question is, at what cost? 9 additional Ultras coming out. Maru making a transition right now to more Siege Tanks, more Cyclones, and more Hellbats. Planetary Fortress up on the high ground, though, is an absolute banger. And now we are back to where we were when the Roaches first went across, but without Tunneling Claws. How are you gonna break through this Siege Tank line? It's a different unit composition here for SHIN, of course, but I don't think he has the needs right now or the units available to break through this. He's got no Vipers available. That means he's gonna have to brute force it with Zerglings primarily. Hellions trying their best to help out in whatever way they can. Most of the Swarmos right now have been roasted. Okay. That's not gonna do much. Kijkwijzer gets the Knight. Small little hit squad here of Blue Flame Hellions, but a lot of drones! The drone barbecue from the early game is gonna continue yet again. You can see that SHIN is all army hotkeying it, right? Slightly problematic. I think his heart rate has currently spiked to about 1 million. He's averaging about 600 APM throughout the entire game. That's insane. That is the equivalent of 10 buttons a second. Maru, though, somebody that generally can keep his head cool. Maru, another one of those genetic freaks that we saw at the EWC. Oh, he sees the infestors, too, that just never really saw their heart rate spike. Is there enough for Zerg to break through this? I don't think there is, man. Those siege tanks are having a great time. Planetary dice, but that was the entirety of SHIN's army. He has a few Ultras left over. Oh, no, infestors miss rally, too. SHIN, you can't afford it. He's got, I mean, I guess it's not technically the entirety. There's like 3 Ultras remaining and a few units here and there, but right now, SHIN, all he's got left over, it's the scraps of the armies that he had earlier. Maru, somehow, some way, navigating this game like an absolute god. I can't believe this match. What an insane engagement. Just across the board, from start to finish, an absolute banger. 10 out of 10. Whew, just like that, we find ourselves on the map Tokamak. I've got nerd chills all over my body. That was glorious. Now, the big error there came from SHIN when he remaxed on Ultras. When in doubt, maybe we should make a rule, okay? There are moments when Ultras are the correct choice. But when in doubt, don't make Ultras. SHIN effectively felt like that game was in the bag. He had like, I think the collective of about 8, maybe 9,000 resources when I last checked. At his absolute peak, maybe more than that at a later time. I'm not exactly sure, but he had so much money. He decided to get every upgrade. He decided to get every building so he could just be flexible and do whatever he felt like he needed in the next scenario. I think when he was at 160 or so supply when he first lost the Roaches, if he would have remaxed on Brute Lords instead, yeah, it takes a long time. Yeah, it's kind of sketchy. But that fight would have looked very different. In a pinch, Ultras can sometimes feel like the right choice, because at least they don't take that long to produce, right? You don't have to make the Corruptors and then morph them in and all the rest of it. But sometimes you need to buy time, and just with a little bit of patience, I think the Brute Lords could have come out, and that game would have looked very different. Even if he would have lost the Natural, I don't think it was really the end of the world. And that was probably the absolute worst case scenario there. Okay. Well, Maru, Playing a very strange game number 1 as far as his build order went. He decides to now go for a much more conventional start. SCV Scout goes across the map. Command Center on the low ground. A Reaper coming up. Okay, all of this is the gold standard. SHIN, well, he did not go for a spawning pool first this time around either. He is just opening up in the most conventional way possible too. I'm expecting we're going to see a drone move on over towards the third base location in a moment, although if this SCV has any say in the matter, we probably won't see that just yet. All right. Apparently we're tag teaming here. The Reaper was like, okay, it's your move. You block the base. I go in for the damage. Maybe we'll swap it out in a moment. Brenda is here, though. Get off my creep. All right, Brenda. The Reaper will be leaving now. CC, in the meantime, though, is finishing. This is a double gas start for Maru, so I guess he wants to go into a pretty quick starport. Old school approach. He's mining with 5 SCVs. Looks like a mistake. It isn't. Doing it on purpose. He's got something cooking. So, the normal thing for Terrans to do is to build up a single a single refinery at this phase, and then get a very fast third command center with this opener. You go Hellions into Banshees most of the time, and you're going to be safe against pretty much everything. This is likely still going to be Banshees, but I guess it's going to be a faster one with a late third command center. A little bit of an oddball in modern StarCraft. Like, this is a build order that's been proven to be suboptimal compared to what, well, I just described. Maybe it's because of the Banshee speed improvement? What are we... No, it's just going to be Cloak Banshees. After that previous game, I wouldn't even exclude, I don't know, battle cruisers. Technically, anything is possible. Maru doing a casual battle cruiser rush would be pretty phenomenal, but no, not the case. Third hatchery, in the meantime, is building here for SHIN, who's now also going Quick Lair. Quick Lair, very fast Baneling Nest as well with it. This is Mutas. It's probably Mutaling Bane. Yep, Spire starts up. Dude, these guys are playing some fun StarCraft. Okay. Hellions yet again. They want to drive through, but they don't get a proper way of getting the job done. Unlike those Hellions in the previous game. I think SHIN, by the way, at the end of that previous match also kind of realized that he threw it. Right? There is that moment when everything seems to go wrong. Like that final Hellion run by with the blue flame in the top right-hand corner of the map was not a very good defense there. Like, he just never really got the ball going on that one. He was all army hotkeying against 4 Hellions or so. That's not what we want to see at this level of StarCraft. But I think that was basically SHIN with his hands in his hair. No longer wanting to be in that spot, knowing that he probably threw it all away. Well, he's going to be able to go and get another shot here and maybe be the aggressor yet again. Because I got to say, he did play some really solid StarCraft. That was really nicely done. Mutalisks. Here we go. Stimpack, by the way. Cloak Banshee going in. But Stimpack here very early on for Maru. I don't really like this opener very much for Terran. Are we going for a 2-base all-in, by the way? Yeah, it just made 2 additional barracks. So it's going to be 5 wrecks in total instead of a 3rd command center. Maru really has been changing up the playstyle entirely. Maybe he's been talking to Hero a lot. I'm not exactly sure. But this is a very Hero-esque vibe I'm getting, except then for Terran. Probably best macro Terran on the planet. Playing anything but macro lately. Although I guess that previous game was macro, but in a very weird way. This now kind of has the look of a normal macro opener for Terran, but it's actually just a 2 command center, 5 wrecks. So I'm not even sure how this lines up against Mutaling Bane. Baneling speed, though, is going to be a pivotal upgrade for SHIN. He really doesn't need a 4th hatch. He really doesn't need anything. I like the fact that he's just going, into a bunch of upgrades here. But if he gets the creep out, This can really only be a 2-base attack from Maru. Maru needs to move out sooner rather than later. I guess he's waiting for combat shields now? I'm at a bit of a loss as far as this Terran strategy goes. Because if you're ever planning on adding on a third command center, it could have been down literally 3+ minutes ago. Instead, we are now just building up a load of stuff on 2 bases. But it's so predictable now. Ooh, this is nice. It's so predictable now that all that SHIN needs to do is defend 1 attack. And I think SHIN is reading his opponent perfectly. We have the Cloak Bench. He's still going to town, but that one has not really achieved much. A couple of Mutalisks helping out as well. Queen will survive. Yeah, here goes the Terran army. Are we pulling the boys with this? I mean, I feel like we almost have to. No, he's just going to rally his reinforcements down onto the low ground and go for one gigantic attack. And this is way more, right? Because of the lack of command centers, this is way more Terran army than you normally see. Not even 8 minutes into the game. 88 army supply, now 92 army supply is huge. This is honestly a scary attack from Maru. I don't think we can really go in from one attack, though, from one direction, SHIN. We have to surround this. Preferably, we already had Zerglings right over here to, like, set up a proper 360. Instead, SHIN is going to pull the trigger. Right about right, not yet. What? We just sent in half of the units. I guess he was busy microing the Mutalisks, but that does mean that he loses a bunch of troops. Oh, no. This may actually be a problem here for SHIN. Like, his units were a little bit premature. It is absolutely critical that you collapse on top of this Terran army from every angle, rather, as quickly as you can. Oh, I kind of hate this fight. Ugh, ugly. Wow. Did Maru just play the strangest build order yet again? This time around, though, with Terran bio? And did he just make it look easy? Yeah. Oh, SHIN. That's another tilter of a game right there. He had all the units. It just was a disjointed engagement. At this point, I'm a little bit concerned for our Zerg. That previous game was mechanically not even remotely as complex as the first one. Basically, what you do is you set up little pockets of Zerg, and then when you feel like it's the time to pull the trigger, maybe when like new lings pop out of their cocoons, or when you know reinforcements are just about to arrive, you hit the all army hotkey and you just click in the middle. Maybe you move command the banelings manually, fair enough, and you can try to dodge the siege tanks, but that is, for a pro gamer at the very least, not a very difficult fight. Shindo focused on microing the mutas there, and he probably had an accidental group of units draw into the engagement a bit sooner than he expected. Then he had another group coming in from the other side, and it just got very messy. At some point, it becomes a bit of a mental block as well. Maru, by the way. He does have this aura where he sometimes even feels almost like untouchable in a way. Maru, of course, somebody that has lost series in the past, but sometimes you watch him play StarCraft like he has been doing so far in this series, and even though it feels like he is not in a good position at all, it still looks like he's in full control. That's Maru in a nutshell. Of course, one of the very few StarCraft 2 millionaires. Looking at tournament earnings alone, Maru has been having a pretty good time as far as the earnings go. And I'm sure team salaries and all the rest of it also not too bad for him. Now, we want more of a pool first build here for SHIN. This time around, it's 6 links rather than the 4 that we saw in the previous game where he tried this. It is going to be a Reaper opener yet again. Problem is, very fast command center on the low ground. And when you arrive right now on the other side of the map against the command center first, it sounds weird because you'd imagine against the CC first, the greediest opener you can go for as Terran. You'd imagine that a pool first is better, but it's actually worse. I mean, we're going to have to dance with the SCVs for a little bit, fair enough. But now the double mules are going to be available. Reaper is going to be out to clean up this party. Zerg has effectively slowed down their own eco quite a bit with this. Nothing too terrible, but nice little bit of body blocking here as well. Great control by Maru. He loses 2 SCVs in the end. I think one of them actually must have been on the low ground. Yeah, probably. No, maybe not. Either way, it's a cleanup here. And Maru now is going to be able to keep doing whatever he likes. Third hatchery in the meantime, building right now for SHIN. Who's adding on 2 gases at the same time. So this has been a gasless start for him. Gasless triple hatch. Always nice to see, especially with a spawning pool first. The double gas could just be because he wants to play catch-up here. But it could also be that he has got some sort of layered push on the back of this plant. Double engineering bay really quickly here yet again for Maru. Dude, Maru's build order choices are something else. I really like this. So super greedy. Command center first. Into 1 Reaper, 1 Marine, double engineering bay, Hellion production. This is going to lead to 1 timing attack that is going to be extremely difficult for the Zerg player to stop. So in the previous game, Maru never made a 3rd base. Now he's already got his done. This is about a 3.5 minute 3.5 minute Roach Warren right here for SHIN. Could certainly be a timing attack. Yeah, it is a timing attack. He's saving right now. He prepared Overlords in advance. He's got 14 larvae ready to go. He's waiting right now for the Roach Warren to be done, and there we go. Immediately, a big influx of roaches. 10 of them in total. Marudo is going to see right now that there is indeed a Roach Warren built. And that's probably, yeah, going to prompt bunkers. Keep in mind, he doesn't have Banshees. He will not have Stimpeg ready for this push either, because he's prioritizing the engineering bay upgrades. So that means he's just going to have to deal with this without any tricks. Great opportunity for SHIN. We've seen great opportunities for SHIN, though, several times already throughout this series. But this right here, maybe the best one yet. Okay, maybe the Brute Lord transition in game 1 was a no-brainer when he made Ultras instead. Anyways, this is a really nice setup here for the South Korean Zerg player. He is on a timer, of course. 1-1 is actually going to finish up in about a half minute for Maru. Big power spike for the few Marines that he's got. He's trying to see if he can potentially supply block the Terran for now as he's waiting for more and more Lings to show up. There's a whole load of them available already, though. It is 7 biles to kill a bunker. Siege tank in the back. Siege tank is going to have a good time. Ooh. Hellions lined up perfectly. Great positioning here yet again by Maru. New tanks just popped out. Bunker, second one, third one over here also ends up falling. Siege tank on the high ground, though, now having a good time. Actually, it does not fall. A mass repair. Barely in the nick of time. 8 SCVs have died so far. Maru's defensive capabilities are nuts. He fires up +2. Maru! The disrespect! He's like, yeah, don't worry. I'm just investing all my resources, actually, that I'm gathering right now, even though half my workers aren't mining. What little I am gathering, I'm going to spend on upgrades that will be useful in several minutes from now, because this defense is done. Well, there we go. +2/+2. Stimpeg. Combat Shields is going to be fired up here in this tech lab, I'm sure, in just a moment. And that was a solid defense for Maru. But if you look at the supply count, this game can be a little bit deceiving. SHIN, of course, has had 3 bases up and running for a long time. He's building up a 4th hatchery right now, too. What he doesn't have, though, is upgrades. Also, his supply count is a little bit inflated. Nah, I thought he had more roaches than he actually does. No, he's just got a pretty dang solid economy. With this type of opener, you do reduce the amount of queens that you make early on, so the creep spread is naturally going to be a little bit lackluster. But as long as he's got the creep heading in the right direction with the first big attack from Terran, I think it'll be okay. Maru's, by the way, gonna finish up Stimpeg only like a little bit before +2 infantry attacks. Very odd. Never see this in StarCraft, but I mean, it's gonna make those Marines so freaking powerful. SHIN, by the way, anticipating an attack right now, it seems. Making a few infestors as well, which I quite like. I think the infestors are a good idea if you want to fungal growth a big clump of Terran bio. But maybe Maru has actually decided to not go for an attack. Yeah, I think Maru probably believes that it's better for him to not be the aggressor right now. Feels weird, right? So you rush out those upgrades and then you sit on them. Like, you take all the risk and you get none of the reward. But maybe it's because he believes that his opponent believes that he's going for an attack, and therefore it's not worth it because SHIN likely has been making defensive units for a long time. So you're actually better off not attacking. SHIN, by the way, has had a drone on this control group for a long time. Now he finally deselects it. There we go. Hive, in the meantime, is building, though. Bailing Nest is coming up. +3 attack. Added into the mix. Maru is going for a small little push. No way that this is going to do much. But he's got medevacs here as well to at least lift up the vast majority of the units. He's just building a 4th command center and a 5th. He's just chilling. Fungo is over here. Preemptive splits. One Ravager is going to go down. Look at how powerful those Marines are, though, compared to the Zerglings. Maru actually just going full macro. Love the swap there. From the low HP medevac to the high HP medevac. Maru is so good. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, Ultras yet again. Now, I think this is a situation where Ultras are miles better than the first game. But keep in mind that Ultras are very upgrade dependent. And, well, as I've already discussed for the vast majority of this game so far, upgrades are going quite well on the side of the Terran player. Maru actually has a really solid eco now. Man, the way that Maru is navigating these games is just on another level. I have not seen Bjorn, Clem, Cure, like any of the other top Terrans. I've not seen them play like this. SHIN also has to be scratching his head a little bit at this point. That first game was so well played by him until it wasn't. I feel like since then it's been a bit of a block. Like, probably mentally. Although he's not playing poorly here whatsoever. He is not getting a good read on his opponent at all. Can't really blame him because this is a difficult Terran player to get a read on, evidently. Split attack right now as well, though. Stimpack is activated. Marauders in the front. Pre-splitting as well some of the units. There's the, okay, fungal growth, but I don't even know if there's enough Zerg. Ultras are showing up right about right now, but they don't yet have chitinous plating done, so Marauders alone are actually going to be pretty darn good. +3 attack right here on the biological units. Wow, he's even going to kill the hatchery here and an Ultra before he's forced to retreat. New base in the top right-hand corner that's currently been unscouted by the Terran. Would have been an easy kill as well. Maru not quite anticipating that one. Armor upgrades coming up. Yep, we're going Widow Mines. We're going Ghosts. Widow Mines, of course, their attacks do not benefit from attacking upgrades. So you may as well only upgrade their armor. Widow Mines are considered spellcasters for some odd reason. And spells don't benefit from attack upgrades. Alright, let's see. Maru yet again, man. These units are just so beefy, and there's enough medevacs nearby that he can just lift up and get on out of here. Didn't even panic. Another push down south here. I think that's actually that previous group that also killed the hatchery previously, and then that Ultralisk. Medevacs are going to unload inside of the main base. SHIN decides that he's had enough. He doesn't want to deal with these units anymore. Decides to go in for the counterattack. Planetary Fortress, I mean, this should be a guaranteed kill. Yeah, it is going to be a kill eventually, although it's quite costly. In the meantime, he may be losing the main if he's not careful. Another Marine Marauder Medevac push, though, moving in through the center. Looks like the Ultra over here is going to get denied. Baneling is going to be targeted down as well. Nice clicking by Maru. Looks like the Roach Warren at the natural expansion has fallen. And suddenly Maru has picked up the pace. From full passivity in the first 11 minutes or so of this game to full offense everywhere you look. Planetary Fortress, by the way, fell, but he's just making a new command center in the same location, believing that if he keeps on the pressure, Zerg is not going to be attacking in the direction anyways. He's building 4 command centers, by the way, all at the same time. I hope he's not going to be suffering like Björn has been for the mass command center addiction as of late. Ghosts, they're coming. Liberators probably are not going to be too far behind. Those are the 2 units, by the way, that are most commonly complained about from Zerg players. But then if you look at these games, this is the first time we're going to see ghosts. I think we saw 2 Liberators in one of the previous games, just as a bit of harassment, but really nothing all too committed. Maybe he's made more. That first game kind of had a little bit of everything. I don't think so, though. I think he only made 2 Medevacs, and that was about it with the starport. Either way, Maru is showing us that even though many people complain about many things, he doesn't even need the majority of it. Widowmine drops, sure. We have one Widowmine Rudder still left over as well inside of this plane. It is going to be lifted up yet again. Ultra, not in the right position. He wants to kill 2. Is going to get 1. Medevac, though, apparently did already unload its cargo during all of this. That must have been the 3 drones there that additionally died on the left side of the screen. More command centers added into the mix. We're up to 5 orbitals. This choke point is no good. Nice snipes right there onto the Vipers as well. Ultra's trying to break through this position, but no way, Shin. I don't like this attack right here from the Zerg at all. Shin just not feeling this game and this series anymore. I think in a way, Shin was tilted after that first game. It turned out to be a bit of a throw. I think that first game really sort of threw him off of his game plan, and he's been playing catch-up ever since. It's not that he's playing poorly. Like, his autopiloting skills are still phenomenal, as you can see, but Maru just looking head and shoulders above his opponent throughout the majority of this series. I mean, it could have been a very different outcome, though, right? If we had a Brute Lord transition in game number 1, maybe Shin could get a little bit of positive momentum going into game number 2, which was also a very winnable game.